What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Nick, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest film on Netflix, Remarkably Bright Creatures, starring Sally Field and Lewis Pullman. The story follows an unlikely bond formed during night shifts at a local aquarium where Tova, an elderly widow, learns of a life-changing discovery that might bring her joy and wonder once again. Now the movie sets us up with some narration with this octopus in the aquarium named Marcellus, who's actually voiced by Alfred Molina, so another time that he's playing an octopus character. But Marcellus the octopus, he has a very cynical view of humans. However, he does like Sally Field's character in Tova. She's cleaning the aquarium at night, and she's able to connect with Marcellus differently than the other humans. And Marcellus kind of likes her, and he's kind of deducting things about her as the movie goes on. But what the movie does set up for us is that Tova is a widow, and her son had passed away 30 years before the events of the movie. So we're dealing with grief with Tova, as well as her wanting to kind of move out of this small town by the sea and everything. And it does set up some nice stuff for us to kind of go into what her character's going through and get a nice exploration of grief. But as a counterpoint to it, or not really a counterpoint, but like alongside of her, Cameron, played by Lewis Pullman, comes to this town. His van breaks down, so he needs money for the mechanic. So he's getting a job at the aquarium, and that's where their bond starts to connect. And I just gotta say, the chemistry between Sally Field and Lewis Pullman in this movie is absolutely fantastic. Just their individual performances as well are just really great, especially Sally Field just delivering another amazing performance here as Tova, doing a nice range of emotions. But I really like the chemistry with her and Lewis Pullman as their bond starts to grow throughout the film. What is interesting is that, yes, their circumstances are different with how they're grieving and the situations they're getting into. However, despite their age gap, they're getting into similar situations throughout the film, like dating and having grief and everything. So the way that they're able to kind of connect over this stuff, as well as just their aquarium jobs and spending more time together and growing, I really like the chemistry between them and how their relationship together is growing throughout the film. It leads to a lot of very wholesome moments, and the emotion between them really does work. But what's also interesting is there is kind of a third main character here in Marcellus the octopus, who is our remarkably bright creature.
Say that again?
And it's just interesting the way they incorporate him, because he's not directly in every single scene, obviously. He's not going on the road trips, he's not paddleboarding or anything, but Marcellus is kind of the backbone of this film, despite octopuses not really having bones or octopi or whatever it is. But Marcellus is the backbone here, where he's doing the narration, because Cameron and Tova have, sometimes they're different shifts and everything, and sometimes they're just not together when they're cleaning Marcellus's area. So you have them venting to him like in different times, and he's piecing together all these things about them, where Marcellus is in a way kind of a detective in this story, where he's kind of figuring things out about Tova and Cameron to let the audience know what's going on with them, instead of just kind of learning a bunch of these things, which I am a little mixed on with how they do it, because they reveal some stuff through Marcellus's narration about Cameron and Tova, and then they have the two of them together talking about those things. Like, Marcellus will learn about Cameron's past, and then Cameron will say those exact things to Tova on the beach or whatever. I am a little mixed on that. Like, maybe they could have done it to where we didn't already know that stuff before we get the human connection between Cameron and Tova. However, I do like having Marcellus there as kind of just this, not comedic really, but he's kind of just the emotional part of everything, tying things together. But along with him learning about their past, he's kind of, in a sense, a detective figuring out a mystery going on around here, because we do have a mystery plot in a way where Cameron is trying to learn who his father is. He has this ring, he has the initials and everything, so he's trying to figure out who his dad might be. So he brings Tova along for some of that stuff and everything, and those road trips, those little investigative parts of it, I do think bring out a lot of the emotion as well between the two characters. So there is just a lot going well for this film in terms of how they go into emotion and mystery, and just having Marcellus there. And seriously, how does a movie get me emotional over an octopus? Like, genuinely, by the time we get to the third act, yes, it's a little far-fetched how we get there. Like, how is this octopus doing all this stuff? And the third act twist, I think, is a very, very nice twist. Like, seriously, the way they build up to it and then do the big reveal of this twist, I think is nice. And given how the emotion in this movie works, and given how everything kind of ties together, it's a very nice twist. It's definitely far-fetched, and you're going to have some suspense of disbelief to really make it work. But I think it does in the context of the film, and just everything coming together nicely, and then just the emotion, it's very wholesome at the end of the film, and just a really nice crowd pleaser film from Netflix. I will be completely honest, this is my favorite film from Netflix in 2026 so far. Just, I think it's well made, it has great performances here, a wholesome message and everything, and just really, they kind of nailed it on this one. And I have not read the book before. I know it's a very acclaimed book, and really it's a debut novel too that I found out last night. And it's just a very well written story. I can't say how accurate it is, so book lovers, let me know in the comments if I should read the book. And if you have read the book, let me know how accurate it is, because from what I've read, it is pretty similar, but they could have also switched some things up for the movie. But hey, if I am able to get to 100 subscribers with this video only, I will do a video reviewing the book. But you have to get me to 100 subscribers for me to do that. Before I get into my final thoughts, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because when you like, a clapperboard is going to appear, and when you subscribe, you get me closer to that 100 sub goal that I've been trying to hit all year. Remarkably Bright Creatures is one of Netflix's better films in recent months, and by far my favorite from the platform this year. It's a wholesome story between Tova and Cameron, seeing this amazing chemistry between Sally Field and Lewis Pullman, for a wholesome, emotional, crowd-pleasing film from Netflix that I'm sure a lot of people will love. My final score for this film is going to be a 73%. This and People We Meet on Vacation are by far the best films I've seen from Netflix this year, and they're both based off books, so maybe I should probably read more, because then my vocabulary will get better in these reviews. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you've read the book, comment down below. Tell me if it is a very good book, I've heard it is, and how accurate it is, and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. With that, I will see you all in the next one.